Have you ever caught yourself wondering if you're doing better or worse than the average person? Maybe a friend just got a big promotion. Another just bought a house. Someone else is posting photos from a 6-month trip across Europe. While you're trying to figure out how to make rent or why your savings account barely moves, it's hard not to compare yourself. But here's the real question. What does the average person actually have in the bank? In this video, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at what people really earn, how much they actually save, how much debt they carry, and how well they're preparing for retirement. By the end, you'll know exactly where you stand. And more importantly, how to move from just getting by to actually building wealth. Because as you'll see, success isn't just about how much you make, it's about how well you manage what you have. Welcome to mapyourfinance.com, your roadmap to financial success. If you find this information useful and want to ensure financial success in your future, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Let's begin with income, the fuel that powers everything else. You can't save what you don't earn, and you can't grow wealth without something to start with. So how much do people actually earn? In the United States, the median weekly earnings of full-time workers in early 2024 were around $1,139, which works out to about $59,200 per year before taxes. In Australia, median weekly earnings for full-time employees were about $1,700, or roughly $88,400 per year before tax. In the UK, median annual earnings for full-time employees are around £37,430, with a median weekly earning of about £728. Not bad on paper, but when you subtract rent or mortgage, transport, food, utilities, and debt repayments, that income often disappears faster than you might expect. Surveys show that in the US, more than 2/3 of workers live paycheck to paycheck, meaning many adults have little or no savings buffer. In the UK, 1 in 3 adults have less than £500 in emergency savings, and in Australia, while median full-time earnings appear relatively strong, high cost of living and household debt remain major burdens. It's not just about what you earn, it's about what you keep. Two people can earn the same amount, but one may build security while the other struggles. Why? Because one manages their money and the other lets lifestyle creep swallow their earnings. Now, let's move from today's paycheck to tomorrow's plan. Imagine you're 65 years old. You've finished work, your mornings are your own, and your time is finally free. The question is, can you afford it? In the United States, the median retirement savings for people aged 55 to 64 is about $185,000. And for those aged 65 to 74, it's about $200,000. That might sound like a lot, but it's not nearly enough. Financial planners estimate you need about 10 times your annual income saved by retirement to maintain your lifestyle. For someone earning $60,000 a year, that's $600,000. And most people are far short of that target. In Australia, the median superannuation balance for people aged 60 to 64 is about 205,000 Australian dollars for men and 154,000 Australian dollars for women. That might cover some living costs, but with rising housing and healthcare expenses, it's tight. In the UK, many working-age adults approaching retirement have pension pot sizes of only tens of thousands of pounds, far below what's needed to support a comfortable retirement lifestyle. Life expectancy keeps increasing, around 77 years in the US, 81 in the UK, and 83 in Australia, meaning savings need to last 2 decades or more. Yet most adults aren't close, often relying on government pensions for survival. The real message: start early, save consistently, and let compounding work. Even small contributions over time snowball into something substantial. So if most people want to save more, why can't they? Let's break down where the money actually goes. In the United States, the average household spent about $77,280 in 2023. That's roughly $6,440 per month before savings and investments. Housing remains the largest cost, followed by transportation and food. In the UK, households spend about £623 per week, which equates to roughly £32,400 per year on goods and services. And in Australia, although exact full household annual numbers are harder to pin down, data show that the average household spent approximately $1,425 Australian dollars per week on goods and services. And more recent indicators show growth in spending despite cost pressures. The result is obvious. Most households have little financial breathing room. The break-even point, the income needed just to cover essentials and a modest lifestyle, is high. Even small surprises like a car repair or medical bill can push a family into debt. Inflation hasn't helped. Over the last decade, rent and home prices have outpaced wages, and global price hikes have squeezed food and fuel costs. Even disciplined savers struggle when every bill is rising faster than their paycheck. The result? People stop saving, and this is where debt comes in. Debt is the quiet weight that keeps most people from building wealth, an invisible gravity pulling down every dollar you earn. In the US, average credit card balances among cardholders are now around 6,735 US dollars, making even moderate balances costly to carry if only minimum payments are made. Mortgages are another significant burden, with many households devoting a sizable portion of their income to housing debt. In Australia, the average household debt is around 261,492 Australian dollars, most of it mortgage-related, placing Australia among the highest debt-to-income nations globally. In the UK, consumer borrowing excluding mortgages continues to rise, and household debt remains elevated in the face of high interest rates and inflation. Debt itself is not inherently bad. Mortgages can build wealth and student loans can open doors, but the real trap is high-interest consumer debt, including credit cards, payday loans, and buy now, pay later schemes, which turn everyday spending into long-term stress. Carrying a balance of $6,735 and paying only the minimum can leave you paying it off for years, with interest steadily accumulating. By tackling high-interest debt first, you free up cash flow that can be redirected into savings and investments, turning every dollar of debt eliminated into a meaningful step toward financial security. Now, if income shows what flows in and debt shows what flows out, net worth shows what's left. It's the clearest snapshot of your financial health. Everything you own minus everything you owe. In the United States, the median net worth for households aged 35 to 44 is about $135,300 US dollars. And for those aged 45 to 54, it's around $246,700 US dollars. But remember, these are medians. A few wealthy outliers lift the averages, and most people's real net worth is much lower, especially when you subtract home equity. In Australia, recent research finds that a middle-aged household has a median net worth of approximately 429,000 Australian dollars, while younger households may have around 156,000 Australian dollars. In the UK, median household wealth in Great Britain was £293,700 in the period April 2020 to March 2022. With most of this wealth heavily concentrated in property and pensions rather than immediately accessible cash and investments. So what does that tell us? Most people's wealth is locked up in their home, not their bank account. They're asset-rich but cash-poor, with little liquidity for emergencies or opportunities. A healthy financial life balances both, growing assets while keeping cash accessible. Real wealth isn't about owning things. It's about having options. Here's the simplest but most powerful number in your financial life: your savings rate. How much of your take-home pay you keep. In the US, the household savings rate has hovered around 4.6% of disposable income in recent years. In Australia, estimates suggest the household saving rate is approximately 3% to 5% of disposable income. In the UK, households saved about 10% to 11% of their income in early 2024, a figure substantially higher than in the US and Australia. Financial experts typically recommend saving at least 15% to 20% of your net income for long-term stability and growth. So if you earn $5,000 a month, aiming to save $750 to $1,000 is a good target. And yes, that sounds tough at first, but it's about habits, not heroics. Start with a smaller portion, automate it, and gradually increase. The difference might seem small day to day, but your future self will thank you. Remember, savings aren't just for emergencies, they're for freedom. Freedom to change jobs, move cities, take a break, or start something new. Every dollar you save buys a little more independence from financial stress, a little more breathing room, and a stronger foundation for the things you truly want in life. So after all this, how can you actually improve your financial situation? Start with saving more than average. If the typical person saves 4%, aim for 10%, then 15%. Automate it so you pay yourself first before spending. Treat savings like rent, non-negotiable. Next, destroy high-interest debt. It's the biggest drag on your progress. Pay it off, and the same payments can become investments instead of liabilities. Then, invest consistently. Don't wait for perfect timing. It doesn't exist. Regular investing into low-cost index funds or retirement accounts builds wealth quietly and powerfully. Control spending with purpose. Budgeting isn't punishment, it's awareness. Track your money for 1 month and you'll be amazed where it actually goes. Cut what doesn't matter, keep what does. Build a margin of safety. 3 to 6 months of expenses gives you peace of mind and flexibility when life throws curveballs. Be consistent. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. Financial growth compounds, and small, steady habits beat big, one-time efforts every time. Finally, reassess regularly. Life changes. Careers, family, goals, and your money plan should evolve too. Okay, now let's zoom out. Across the US, UK, and Australia, the story is remarkably similar. Most people earn reasonable incomes, but rising costs and debt mean they keep little. Retirement savings are lagging, and many live one paycheck away from crisis. But here's the good news. Your outcome isn't fixed. Unlike the economy or interest rates, your habits are in your control. By saving more, paying down debt, investing regularly, and spending with intention, you can build financial security over time. The peace that comes from knowing you're stable is worth far more than any luxury item. Financial freedom isn't about being rich. It's about having options. So take a look at your own numbers. Track your spending for a month, make a plan, and start with small, steady steps. Thanks for watching. If this video gave you a new perspective, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and share one financial habit you're going to start improving today. See you in the next one.